In the headlines, President Tinubu meets former APC chairman, 14th Emir of Kano in Aso Rock. Former Attorney General of Federation, Abubakar Malami, says he is not on the run. BDC operators welcome unification of Forex market. And on the foreign scene, Sierra Leone opposition urges election chief to resign ahead of presidential poll. Hello and welcome to Trust News Updates. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And we begin with politics, where the pioneering interim national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Bisi Akande, has told Nigerians to expect good governance and rejigging of the ruling party from the new administration. He fielded questions from State House reporters after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja. Asked to assess the administration after taking some critical decisions in a few days, the former governor said it is too early to assess, but will advise the president when the need arises.
People will expect the rejigging of our party, the APC, and the re-establishing good governance in Nigeria. And it will go on record that APC brings good governance to Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu has also met with the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, at the presidential villa in Abuja, the nation's capital. This is coming barely 48 hours after the duo earlier met at the seat of power, hours after Akpabio's emergence as Senate President.
The President has already started. Ours is to back him and to support his actions for the betterment of the country. So for now, the Parliament on resumption will also lend our voice to what we have seen so far. He has taken the right steps. The stock market is rising, and a lot of people are very excited with the steps he has taken so far, and we are also very happy.
The 14th Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, also paid a visit to President Tinubu at the villa on Thursday. The former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria was in the villa 7 days after the president suspended his successor at Apex Bank, Godwin Emefiele. This is Sanusi's first meeting with President Tinubu after his inauguration on May 29.
The president and I are old friends. He's my brother. We've been friends since his first term as governor of Lagos State when I was a banker. And I have not seen him since the elections. I wanted to give him time to settle down. So the first reason was to come and congratulate him formally. But also I wear many caps. I wear the cap of an economist. So I came to thank him for the steps he has taken to put this economy on course. As you know, many of the issues that we have been talking about, the subsidy that has caused a hemorrhage on the fiscus, the multiple exchange rate regimes, and so on. These are issues that I have personally been talking about for a long time. And I'm happy that on his very first day, he has addressed these issues and the markets are happy. And it is important when the government does the right thing for us to give them feedback. It's not always when they do a wrong thing that you complain. So he has started on such a strong footing as far as the economy is concerned that we have to come and support and encourage that we continue along that path and be advocates for the policies he has pursued.
President Bola Tinubu has charged the National Economic Council to support his administration in transforming the economic fortunes of the country. The president gave the charge when he inaugurated the council, headed by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the chamber of the Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja. The inauguration comes a week after he directed NEC to come up with interventions to mitigate the effects of the petroleum subsidy removal. The report.
President Tinubu says the task of growing the nation's economy is quite enormous, adding that there is no excuse for failure.
The NEC meeting has over the years been very constructive and productive, and key outcomes, resolutions and recommendations are translated into brilliant government policies. It is also evident that the task of growing our economy is quite enormous. But you and I ask for it, we campaign for it, we even dance for it, we beg for it. So we have no reason to complain.
The president restated his administration's commitment to delivering on its promises to Nigerians.
To be impartial, to govern according to the Constitution and the rule of law, to defend the nation from terror and all forms of criminality, to promote economic growth and development through job creation, food security, and an end to poverty, to prominently feature women and youth in all our activities, and to take proactive steps such as championing a credit culture to discourage corruption while strengthening the effectiveness and efficiency.
After the inauguration, the council went into a closed-door session. The NEC meets monthly and is mandated to advise the president concerning the economic affairs of the federation, and in particular on measures necessary for the coordination of the economic planning efforts or programs of the various governments of the federation. Members of the NEC comprises the 36 state governors and other co-opted government officials, and they are all in attendance.
Former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has said that he is not on the run over allegations of corruption. President Bola Tinubu suspended Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdurrashid Bawa, over his conduct while in office. Bawa was nominated by the former Justice Minister, Abubakar Malami. There have been reports that in a bid to evade arrest and investigation, Malami has left the country. Well, Malami has appeared before the House of Representatives Committee over alleged loss of over $2.4 billion in revenue from the illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil export in 2015, including all crude oil exports and sales by Nigeria from 2014 till date. Reports indicate that the EFCC and the DSS have extended an invitation to Malami. However, he exclusively told Daily Trust that he was not invited by EFCC or any other anti-corruption agency. Malami said he is ready for any invitation and will be attending a wedding Fatiha in Kano on Saturday. The suspension of Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdurrashid Bawa, by President Bola Tinubu is generating mixed feelings as some people viewed the decision as counterproductive in the fight against corruption. Some anti-corruption crusaders say while it is within the right of the president to institute a probe against the suspended EFCC chairman, the action could also undermine public confidence in the war against corruption. Shafi'u Suleiman reports.
Like his predecessors in office, Abdurrashid Bawa, the fifth in the series of chairmen of the anti-graft body, has come under executive hammer over allegation of abuse of office.
Anybody who is appointed to the EFCC would have to know that apart from fighting to keep his seat, he's also fighting against those people whose interest he goes against.
The fundamental question that comes in terms of reaction now would then be, what is the process? How do you carry on a process like that of fact-finding in a way that does not denigrate the powers of the Commission?
It has become a tradition for every president to appoint whoever he is comfortable with to head the EFCC, a powerful government agency charged with the responsibility of fighting against corruption in Nigeria. This, according to anti-corruption crusaders, weakens the agency's capacity, erodes public confidence in addition to making mockery of genuine interest to tackle the monster.
Appointments and the composition of EFCC and the experience and the functions it has had has been politicized. And you see that even from the first EFCC boss we've had, it was to a large extent to go after perceived political opponents.
And that is not healthy, especially even from the perspective of public confidence. Because if you talk about the anti-corruption process, it is about state and society.
From the EFCC's pioneer chairman Nuhu Ribadu to Farida Waziri, Ibrahim Lamurde, Ibrahim Magu, and now Abdurrashid Bawa, the story remains the same as they were removed unceremoniously over similar allegations, accompanied with endless probes whose outcome have never been made public.
It is not just about Bawa. This has become a pattern, and we cannot, we can make no mistake about the fact that this is not good for the anti-corruption crusade. I'm talking about the politically exposed persons who may be within or outside government.
And I believe there are salient issues that have not come to light regarding why this is so. But we can only speculate that, there must be one or two things that is in the know of the authorities, which we do not know.
Though Nigeria continues to grapple with deepening and pervasive corruption in both public and private sectors, which undermines the nation's economic growth and development, anti-corruption crusaders believe a holistic review of the anti-graft agency to make it independent and result-oriented is desirable. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The move by Nigeria to officially float the Naira is seen as a game changer in the management of foreign exchange transactions. The report by Yusuf Akogu highlights the implications on economy and local currency traders, popularly known as Bureau de Change operators. The report.
After years of managing and defending exchange rates, the Central Bank of Nigeria finally allows Naira to compete in an open market with other major currencies. The decision followed President Bola Tinubu's pronouncement of his government's plan to unify multiple exchange rate windows, which were said to have negative effects on the economy.
It will cut down on a lot of problems, a lot of economic issues, a lot of unnecessary gains and benefit. Because what happens is that there's one exchange rate in the central bank, and some people go through the back door to go and get dollar at very expensive, very cheap amounts, and then they bring it back into the system around trip, fueling the exchange rate gap. You also notice that some banks do it also, fueling round tripping and encouraging inconsistencies in the economy, disparity in the exchange rate. It should not be so.
For these Nigerians, President Bola Tinubu has addressed the major parts of Nigeria's economic problem. They describe exchange rate unification as a game changer.
I am foreseeing stability in the near future, and by near future I mean any time from now. And I believe our currency, the Naira, would appreciate.
It will help the general economy to have a central structure. And, in fact, it will reduce corruption.
Let our Naira get value as usual before. When Shagari was in the seat, Naira was a big, because dollar was that time 25 kobo per dollar. We want our Naira to get weight right now.
For Bureau de Change operators, their position is clear. The policy will eliminate corruption in the system. And contrary to speculation that they will be out of business, BDC operators appreciate the proactiveness of the new government in FX management.
First and foremost, you knew you have one rate in Nigeria. And the same thing goes to the customer as well. That is the end users. They know there is one single rate for dollars in Nigeria. That is one. And that is a very important message to all of us. So there is no way you could go behind the mask and buy at 200, 300 naira cheaper than me. Honestly, kudos to them. So we Bureau de Change, we are waiting for them because I know they will engage everybody.
good as the policy may appear, Nigerians are still watching to see the impact the reform of the monetary policy will have on the larger economy. Yusuf Akogu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
Thank you, Yusuf, for that report. Now, members of the House of Representatives on Thursday rejected a motion seeking to address incessant migration of Nigerian professionals to get permanent residences in foreign countries. The member representing Ado Okpowu Ogbadibo federal constituency of Benue State, Philip Agbese, moved a motion on the floor urging his colleagues to support and pass resolutions to curtail what he described as Japa syndrome. The report. The growing statistics of young Nigerians leaving Nigeria and securing permanent residence in the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and Canada portends a grave danger for the nation in many ways, from economic to intellectual and social aspects. Philip Agbese noted that the recent reports by African Polling Institute indicate that 69% of young people would ordinarily choose the option to relocate abroad if given the opportunity. He says there is a 40% increase in the number of young Nigerians leaving the nation compared to the number captured previously in 2019.
Lecturers, healthcare practitioners, doctors, nurses, trained manpower, all of whom were trained in Nigeria with Nigerian taxes and are emigrating at a time when their services are needed to build a strong and vibrant economy for this country. Disturbed that if this scenario continues with our able minds, brains, and skilled personnel leaving, Nigeria may fall into grave crisis in our critical sectors.
In opposing the motion, some lawmakers said the motion in contradiction of the constitutional rights of citizens to freely move in and out of the country.
Then go to section 35, talking about the personal liberty of an individual. This motion as it is, it looks nationalistic, but it contravenes the provisions of the Constitution. It's the liberty of a Nigerian if he is qualified and he is normal and he has all the grant rights of movement anywhere he wants.
We have identified, international communities have identified, these are the reasons why Nigerians are compelled to go outside the country. And what he is praying now is, let there be national summit so that all these factors will be given priorities.
The lawmakers voted against the motion to urge the federal government to convene a national summit with key stakeholders to effectively address the Japa syndrome and declare a state of emergency on the syndrome.
So we put the question. Those who are in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those who are against should say nay. No. The nays have it.
In another development, the Speaker announced 7 special House committees to run the affairs of the House, pending the composition of House standing committees. The committees include the Committees on Internal Security, Media, Legislative Agenda, Welfare, Ethics and Privileges, amongst others. Chairmen were appointed to head these committees as they were charged to begin work immediately. The House has, however, adjourned plenary to Tuesday, 4th July. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at a compendium on identical twins and their common interests. Do stay with us.
There's a mountain in Billiri town that truly reflects a lost civilization. Discover the lost story of ancient humans and the existence of giants whose stories have long been forgotten.
They are giants, and because they are giants, it is possible that they did this work.
Could this be proof that giants lived long before now?
These columnar joints formed long before even human existence scientifically.
And did they leave a mark to show their existence?
It is beyond human beings' formation.
Don't miss out as we explore the mystery rock shrouded in tales of ancient lore and lost civilization.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that President Tinubu meets former APC chairman, 14th Emir of Kano in Aso Rock. You also heard that former Attorney General of Federation, Abubakar Malami, says he is not on the run. Moving to other news, tears flow as family and friends of late Raymond Dokpesi gather in Lagos to celebrate his life on earth through service of songs while paying tributes to the media icon. The report.
Late Chief Raymond Dokpesi, a marine transport engineer and a founder of Dar Communications, owners of the first private radio station, Ray Power, and private television, Africa Independent Television, AIT, died on the 29th of May at the age of 71. Paying tributes to the man, the chief executive of Channels Television, John Momo, said, late Dokpesi was an inspiration to those who ruled the world. A preacher and a pastor, Siju Oluyomade, in his message described him as a Christian pilgrim who lived a rightful life.
Let us embrace his spirit of innovation, his unwavering pursuit of excellence, and his unwavering commitment to making a positive impact on the world. May his extraordinary achievements continue to inspire future generations to reach for the stars and leave an indelible mark on the world.
Purpose and make sure that you make heaven. Make an impact in this life, but have a heaven-bound focus, because that's the end of man.
Family members and associates of the late Dokpesi also paid glowing tributes.
The source of motivation and the source of encouragement. He was a source of encouragement to all of us, his children, and always motivating us. A bit of tough love, because he wouldn't tolerate anything mediocre. He wanted excellence from us.
To be good. Because when you are nice, all you are doing is that you are writing your own history. So much has been said and heard about Dr. Dokpesi. He was just an incredible personality. Extremely intelligent, brilliant, relentless, and committed individual.
Big loss. We're missing a father, a leader, the one that led us into an uncharted territory and made us to conquer that territory.
Clerics at the service reminded members of his family and friends that one must live a rightful life, as people are all pilgrims on earth and everyone will be called home, one after the other.
Twins from all the 34 local government areas of Katsina State converged on the ancient city under the auspices of Katsina Twins to foster unity. Katsina Twins is an association aimed at bringing all twins in the state together for understanding, unity, and togetherness amongst them. Abdullahi Ahmadi completes the report.
It has been estimated that there are over 1.2 million twins cutting across all age groups in Katsina State. This meeting discusses problems, prospects, and way forward for twins in Katsina State with a view to providing solutions.
Most of the time, twins may have in the poor family, most of the time. In such family, there are some other twins that people, they don't have the power to take their responsibility. And Allah has blessed them with the twins. So how do we help those families? How do we help those people with less privilege? Let me quote it like that.
At the moment, Katsina Twins Group is planning a compendium that will provide relevant information about its members, which is expected to bring them together.
In our group, we have over 300 members. Even now, people are still coming off.
Anything, we are doing it together. Everywhere we are going, our school, our seats, we can share our problems and give us advice. We are not fighting.
I love him so much. But sometimes we fight a lot. Sometimes what I want is not what he wants. But especially he is introvert. Yes, then and I'm extrovert. That's why we are fighting. He don't want talking and I will be.
Twins are blessings to every family.
So whoever had twins in his house, just take that. It was just an exceptional blessing from the Almighty God. Our companionship between I and my twin partner, there is a patience between us and there is an understanding. Initially, when we started dating, our girlfriends used to get confused with identifying us.
The Katsina Twins Group, which is holding its general meeting for the first time since its establishment in 2022, is also planning to encourage revenue generation drive and contributions to support needy members. Many public commentators expressed confidence in the initiative, saying it will bring unity, understanding, and promote cohesion not only among twins but to the generality of the people. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
On the foreign scene, Sierra Leone's leading opposition candidate has called for the country's electoral commissioners to resign a week before a presidential poll, saying his party did not believe in their ability to hold free and fair elections. Samura Kamara, head of the All People's Congress Party, said he wanted the chief electoral commissioner and all regional commissioners of the national election body to be replaced by an independent, internationally accredited team. The West African country will go to the polls on June 24 to decide whether President Julius Maada Bio will get a second term. Kamara was the runner-up to Bio in a close race in 2018. Bio's ruling party said that Kamara's claims about the Electoral Commission were preposterous. Sierra Leone's Chief Electoral Commissioner, Mohamed Kenewi Kone, also rejected Kamara's accusations and said none of his team would resign. Kamara said that if the officials did not resign within 72 hours, the APC party would meet and decide the next steps. And finally, in sports, Napoli forward Victor Osimhen's value has increased by another €20 to 120 million. According to Transfer Market, Osimhen is now the most valuable player in the Italian top flight's history, breaking a record set by Paulo Diabla. The 24-year-old is also in the top 5 among the most valuable players in the world. The striker had a remarkable campaign with Napoli, helping his club to win the Scudetto for the first time in 33 years. Osimhen scored 26 goals to emerge top scorer in Serie A, the first African to achieve the feat. Osimhen's market value has risen 6 times since he joined Napoli from Lille. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.